10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
How to partition your hard drive in Windows 7. Disk partitioning is to divide the hard drive into multiple logical units. People don't often choose to partition their hard disks, but it has many benefits. Mainly, by partitioning your disk, you can separate your operating system from your data and thus reduce the chances of your data becoming corrupted. Step 1. Open the Computer Management tool. Open the Start menu. Type Computer Management in the search bar of the Start menu and press Enter. Step 2. Select the Disk Management tool. Click on Disk Management on the left side of the window and you should see all of the disks and their partitions on your computer. In the example in the picture, there is one disk with two partitions. Step 3. Make some space for the new partition. Right-click on the partition you wish to resize and select the Shrink Volume option. In the example in the picture, the C drive is used. Note, there may be a partition named System Reserved. It is not recommended that you alter this partition at all. Step 4. Shrink the drive. Enter the size you wish to shrink your drive to in megabytes. 1000 megabytes equals 1 gigabyte. Then click on the Shrink button. In this example, the drive is shrunk by 10,000 megabytes or 10 gigabytes. Note, you cannot shrink your volume greater than the amount indicated in the size of available shrink space in MB section. Step 5. Create a new volume. You should now see a new unallocated partition in your disk management window. Right-click on the unallocated partition and select the New Simple Volume option. Step 6. The New Simple Volume Wizard. The New Simple Volume Wizard should pop up. Click on the Next button to continue. Step 7. Enter size of new partition. Enter the amount of memory you wish to allocate for your new partition and click on the Next button. In the example in the picture, the maximum memory available is allocated to the new volume. Note, you cannot make your new volume larger than the maximum amount of memory available. Step 8. Give the new volume a letter name or path. Select from the menu a letter name for your new partition and click on the Next button. Step 9. Settings for the new volume. Click on the Format this volume with the following settings. For file system, select NTFS. For allocation unit size, select Default. For volume label, type the name you wish to give your new drive. Click on the Perform a quick format, then click on the Next button. Step 10. Create the new volume. Look over your settings and click on the Finish button. Step 11. Format the new volume. You will get a pop-up asking you to partition your new drive. Click on the Format Disk button. A new window will pop up. Keep the settings and click on the Start button. A warning will pop up. Click on the OK button. Step 12. Check new volume. If everything was done correctly, you should now see your new drive in the Disk Management window. Minimum System Requirements Report Bug NEM64/Intel EM64T processor. 32-bit processors are not supported. 1 GB physical RAM, 2 GB or more recommended. 3 GB available disk space for a minimal install, 5 GB available for a graphical desktop, more recommended. Supports most modern sound and graphics cards. 800 by 600 display resolution. 1024 by 768 or higher recommended. Step 1. Insert the OpenSUSleep DVD into the drive, then reboot the computer to start the installation program. On machines with a traditional BIOS you will see the graphical boot screen shown below. On machines equipped with UEFI, a slightly different boot screen is used. Secure boot on EFI machines is supported. Use F2 to change the language for the installer. A corresponding keyboard layout is chosen automatically. See Section 2.2.1.1. The boot screen on machines equipped with traditional BIOS, or Section 2.2.1.2. The boot screen on machines equipped with EFI for more information about change in boot options. Step 2. Select Installation on the boot screen, then press Enter. This boots the system and loads the OpenSUSleep installer. Step 3. The language and keyboard layout are initialized with the language settings you have chosen on the boot screen. Change them here, if necessary. Read the license agreement. It is presented in the language you have chosen on the boot screen. License translations are available. Proceed with Next. Step 4. In case no network interface could be configured automatically via DHCP, the Network Settings dialog opens. If you prefer to install OpenSUSleep with no network connection, choose Next to proceed. However, configuring the network at this stage is recommended, since it will allow to install the latest updates and security fixes from the online update repository. A working network connection will also give you access to additional software repositories. This step is skipped if a network interface was successfully configured via DHCP. To configure the network, choose a network interface from the list and click Edit to change its settings. Use the tabs to configure DNS and routing. See Book Reference, Chapter 13 Basic Networking, Section 13.4 Configuring a network connection with YaStreet for more details. Step 5. A system analysis is performed, where the installer probes for storage devices, and tries to find other installed systems. When the analysis has finished, the suggested partitioning dialog opens. Review the partition setup proposed by the system. If necessary, change it. You have the following options. Edit Proposal Settings lets you change options for the proposed settings, but not the suggested partition layout itself. Create Partition Setup. Select a disk to which to apply the proposal. Expert Partitioner opens the Expert Partitioner described in Book Reference, Chapter 5 Advanced Disk Setup, Section 5.1 using the YaStreet partitioner. To accept the proposed setup without any changes, choose Next to proceed. Step 6. Select the clock and time zone to use in your system. To manually adjust the time or to configure an NTP server for time synchronization, choose Other Settings. See Section 2.8, Clock and Time Zone for detailed information. Proceed with Next. Step 7. Select the desktop system you would like to use in the User Interface dialog. KDE and GNOME are among the most widely used desktops on Linux. If setting up a server, you probably do not need a graphical user interface. Choose Server, Text Mode. In this case, Step 8. To create a local user, type the first and last name in the user's full name field, the login name in the username field, and the password in the password field. Proceed with Next. Step 9. Type a password for the system administrator account, called the root user. This step is skipped if you have chosen use this password for the system administrator in the previous step. Proceed with Next. Step 10. Use the installation settings screen to review and, if necessary, change several proposed installation settings. The current configuration is listed for each setting. To change it, click the headline. Some settings, such as firewall or SSH, can directly be changed by clicking the respective links. Step 11. After you have finalized the system configuration on the installation settings screen, click Install. Depending on your software selection, you may need to agree to license agreement before the installation confirmation screen pops up. Up to this point, no changes have been made to your system. After you click Install a second time, the installation process starts. Step 12. During the installation, the progress is shown in detail on the Details tab. Step 13. After the installation routine has finished, the computer is rebooted into the installed system. Log in and start YaStreet to fine-tune the system.